guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Thursday, which means it's time for a magic stuff. And today I've got one of the 3 best trick series. This is one of my favourite videos of the week. I love doing these. I'm probably more excited than I should be. And this is kind of a little bit of a different one because this is a move. I'm doing a 3 best trick series on a move that I think is massively underutilized. What is this move, I hear you ask? Well, this move is a ribbon spread holdout. Now, what is a ribbon spread holdout? Well, without getting too exposy here, a ribbon spread holdout is when you have a card, you've got a deck of cards and you've got one or more than one card side jogged to the right. You're holding the deck in end grip so that the side jog cards can't be seen. And if you spread out the deck, the cards are hidden underneath the spread. So you can have face-up cards in a deck. You can spread them out. And it looks like all of the cards are face down, but when you square them up and respread them, you'll actually see that the cards have reappeared. That is what the ribbon spread holdout is. Now, a lot of people don't use the ribbon spread holdout. And the main reason is it's a difficult position to get into because you've got to have the card side jogged. So you've got to kind of put it in an angle jog it, side jog it. And it's kind of finding a justification for doing that, especially as a lot of the time you want to put the card face up and then you show it's gone. It's kind of a really weird thing to do. But I've been using the ribbon spread holdout for years and there is so much that you can do. So this video is 3 tricks that use the ribbon spread holdout that you've probably never seen before. And these tricks are absolutely amazing. Now, if you want to learn the ribbon spread holdout, there's a few different places you can learn it. There's a few different textbooks you can learn it. It is available on the Sleight section on Netrix, launching soon from Magic TV. That was my sales pitch. It's the only one I'm going to do. Anyway, I'm going to show you 3 tricks with a ribbon spread holdout that you've never seen before. I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below. Do you use the ribbon spread holdout? Have you used any of these tricks before? I'm going to perform each one of them and talk about why they absolutely rock. So without further ado, let's get into the first trick that uses a ribbon spread holdout that you have never seen before. So the first trick that you've probably never seen before that uses the ribbon spread holdout is an open prediction by the legend himself, Ed Marlowe. Now, everyone knows that Ed Marlowe was a very prolific creator and inventor of magic. He came up with basically, if there's a Sleight and you don't know who made it, it's Ed Marlowe. He created it. He invented it. It was definitely Ed Marlowe. No question. This is a guy that's pretty much invented every single move and Sleight and then back again. A lot of people know him that are new into magic. If you've never heard of any of Ed's stuff before, you really should check out his stuff. A beginner move that you might know of is the all-round subtlety. That's an Ed Marlowe move. And if you want to check out some of Ed Marlowe's stuff, Bill Malone did a series of DVDs all on Ed Marlowe, so it's well worth checking that out. This is an open prediction by Ed Marlowe that uses a ribbon spread holdout, and it's such a clever use of the ribbon spread holdout because the way that he's using it here, he's using it, normally when you use a ribbon spread holdout, what happens is you put the cards in from the front, and when they're put in from the front, you side jog them or whatever it may be. That's not the case here. This is so clever. It really is so clever because of how the card is put into position. I'm going to perform it for you, and then once I've performed it, I'll talk about why it's so good. So Jack, I've got a deck of 52 playing cards. Now, I'm going to make a prediction right here, okay? Now, prediction is me telling you something that's going to happen. Do you believe you've got free will, or do you believe that everything is predetermined?
I think I've got free will.
You believe you've got free will. So if I told you that I could make something happen and there's nothing you could do to stop it, would you believe me?
No.
I'm going to prove it to you. I'm telling you right now, you are going to stop on the 5 of spades from this deck. That's what's going to happen. If you really believe that you've got free will, you should be able to stop that from happening. But I'm telling you right now that you are going to stop on the 5 of spades in this deck. I'm going to take the cards and deal them onto the table one at a time, face up. Anytime you want to, you're going to stop. Whenever you say stop, I'm going to deal that card face down, and we're going to carry on dealing through the deck. So you can see every single one of these cards in here. And if we see the 5 of spades as we're turning the cards face up, it means that I've failed and you have indeed got free will. But if I'm somehow able to make it so that you stopped on the 5 of spades, even though you're going to try and do everything in your power to stop that from happening, would you kind of concede that you haven't got free will and you're under my control the entire time?
I'll give it consideration.
Okay, let's do it then. I'm going to deal cards. Just say stop anytime you want.
Stop.
And now you stopped really early on. I'm going to deal through the whole of the deck. If you want to stop right there, that's fine. If you want to carry on, you can carry on.
I'll stop there.
Are you sure?
Yep.
So that card's going to go there.
Yep.
Do you want to carry on? Seriously, you can carry on if you want to.
I'll carry on.
You do?
Yeah.
He's messing with me now. Are you sure you want to carry on?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. It's a good job you did carry on, to be perfectly honest. I would have been in big trouble there. Okay, look, we'll carry on. Anytime you want to, just say stop.
Stop.
Do you want to carry on?
No, 100% stop.
Are you sure you want to stop right there?
Yeah.
Do you want to carry on? I know what's going to happen. What's going to happen, my friend, is at some point later on today, you're going to think about this trick, and you will be thinking about it, and you're going to think, what would have happened if I hadn't carried on? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. I'm going to deal through every single one of these cards, and I want you to tell me if you see the 5 of spades, because hopefully there's a 5 of clubs. If I've done this right, you won't see the 5 of spades. 2 of spades, 5 of diamonds. I don't see a 5 of spades. Do you see a 5 of spades?
Not yet.
It's about this time that most people wish they'd carried on.
What?
Still don't see a 5 of spades, do you?
No.
Which means, my friend, that you could have stopped on any card. And you stopped right there on the 5.
How do you do this?
Well, it's not me, it's you. What you need to understand is that I am totally in control of all of your actions and you haven't got any free will at all. So that's the open prediction. Now, I've got to be honest with you, the open prediction as a plot, I really like anyway. I've performed many different open prediction plots on this channel before. What I like so much about this particular one, what I like very much about this version of the open prediction is it is really so clean. I love the hook line of, you know what, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to stop on the blah card. You know, you're going to stop that, and you're telling them right away. It's not like you're writing a prediction that they don't get to see at. You're just being very blatant and very open. You are going to stop on this card, and then you deal, and 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 I love the premise of, you know, stop anytime you want to. If you see your card, it means I've lost. And they, they stop at that point, and then you put the card down, and you show the rest of the cards, and you drop them over, and immediately you can spread out, and you can show that that card was correct. So clever! It's such a clever use of the ribbon spread holdout. It really is. Now, this is actually probably one of the easiest ways of using the ribbon spread holdout. It's not difficult at all. It makes the move self-working because of how you deal the cards down onto the table. The card is already in position. You've just got to turn the deck over. Literally, you just have to do a double lift at one point, and then that's it. So it's very, very easy to do. What's also really nice about this is it's repeatable. So you can do this again if you want to. Absolutely not a problem. There's like a 3-second setup. It's a fastidio trick. It's from a shuffled deck in use. You also don't need a full deck. A lot of the routines like this, you need a full deck of 52 cards, which if you're a working magician like me is a pain in the butt. Because if you have a card signed or ripped up or you're using it for some other type of thing, it can become problematic. But not with this. Immediately, you know, it's not even a full deck of cards, so it's absolutely fine. It's an instant reset because you can get into it anytime, anywhere, and it's a very engaging plot. The other thing I quite like about this is you can actually keep a setup. So if you've got like a setup on top of the deck, you can actually keep that setup. It doesn't affect the setup at the top of the deck. So a lot of the time, what I'll do is I'll run this as like an intuition thing. And I'll tell them that you're going to use your intuition. I want you to stop on this card. And they do. And I go, oh, that's absolutely amazing. Well done. You know, that's fantastic. And I do this. And then I go into like a spectator cuts the aces. Because I say you were probably thinking, well, if you can do it with one card, can you do it with an entire value of cards? Let's see if you can do it with the 4 aces. Because it would be infinitely more useful if you're actually playing cards. And then I go into some sort of 4 ace production where the spectator cuts the aces. And it's a nice transition effect into that because it set the premise and it makes the ace cutting thing even more powerful. So there you go. That's the open prediction. If you've never done the open prediction plot before, it is an incredible hook. It really is. It really gets the audience's attention. And, I've talked openly on this channel about how I don't like dealing tricks, and I don't. But they're absolutely fine when you're not dealing too much and you've got a reason to deal. And they're really invested in the deal because you've told them the card they're going to stop on. So when they're turning the cards face up one at a time, and you're turning the cards over like this, and they're watching each card go past, they're kind of almost on the edge of their seat. So there you go. That's the open prediction by Ed Marlowe. Fantastic trick. I believe it's on the Bill Malone DVDs as well. So if you do get those DVDs, which are available as downloads now as well, you can learn that trick. So now that's trick number one. Let's have a look at the second trick using the ribbon spread holdout that you've probably never seen before. So the second trick using the ribbon spread holdout that you've probably never seen before is a routine that I have done for years. In fact, a lot of the time I use this to open a card set. I did this on a shorts a little while ago, and I had so many people going, oh, that's amazing, clever use of that principle, and other people like, I'm completely fooled, how does that work? Well, let me tell you right now how this works. It uses the ribbon spread holdout. And this has to be an opening routine. And I'll tell you why it has to be an opening routine in a minute, okay? I'll tell you why it has to be an opening routine in a minute. So what I want you to do is have a look at the performance. I'm going to do a performance of this first of all. And then when I've done the performance, I'll explain how. Well, this is by me, by the way. This is my routine, my handling of a traditional trick. But let me perform it for you first of all. Jack, I've got a deck of playing cards here. I'm going to spread them out on the table. 52 cards, 52 possibilities. All right.
Yep.
Now, Jack, this all takes place in your imagination. I want you to imagine I've got an invisible deck of cards, and I've separated them into the number cards and the picture cards. Which ones do you want to remove?
I'll have the picture card removed.
You want the picture cards removed, so take them. There you go, fantastic. So you've got all the picture cards there. You've got the jacks, queens, and kings. You've got the male picture cards, which are the jacks and the kings, and the females, which are the queens.
Yep. What
I want you to do is make one more choice. Hand me either the male or the female picture cards.
Okay.
Which ones have you handed me?
I'm going to the female.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Cool. And that's your choice. You want the female picture cards, yeah?
Yep.
That's what we're going to use. You can keep those as a souvenir. So here's the thing. This is kind of really interesting. I love how you're still holding them. You can put them in your pocket. It's fine. You could have ended up with anything, but you ended up with the female picture cards.
Yeah.
It could have gone any way, right? There's no way I could have known that. But this deck of cards has been here the entire time, hasn't it?
Yep.
Watch. Nothing in my hands. In fact, you can do this yourself. Come here, and I want you to just push the cards back together. Just push them back together. Very good. You do that like a pro. You did that yourself, right?
Yep.
Now I'm just going to put the cards here and snap my fingers. And do you know what happens when I do that?
What?
You wanted the queens.
Yep.
That would be the queen of clubs. That would be the queen of diamonds, the queen of spades, and the queen of hearts. That's all 4 queens. Okay, so you can see how engaging that is. It's a really fun, really engaging trick. And the spectator feels like they have a free choice of value. And then boom, you've got that moment where your hands are empty, they see the deck, and you immediately respread them. The nice thing about the ribbon spread holdout, you don't need a close-up pad, you don't need a table like this. You can actually do this in any environment really easily. When I was working restaurants, this was my opener in restaurants the whole time. Now let me get the negative for this particular trick out of the way. The negative is you need to have 4 face-up queens at various points in the deck, side jog to the side of the deck. That's what you need to have. So here's what I suggest. There's 2 ways of doing this. The first way is, if I know which table I'm walking over to next, I'll have this set up. So I'll see the table, I'll pop the 4 aces into position, which takes like literally 5 seconds, and I'll walk over to the table with the deck in this position, and I'll go into, hey, my name's Craig, I'm a magician, I want to show you a trick. How you doing? We've talked about the approach on different videos on this channel before. I spread the deck. I say, this is a trick with a deck of 52 playing cards, but it also uses your imagination right there. So, and then I go into the routine. And so, boom, and you get the 4 queens. And it's a real, we've talked about openers in the past, and we've talked about how they need to establish credibility, and they need to be quick, and they need to be visual, and something they wouldn't see, somebody else do. Well, that's what this is, and then some. Now, the other way that you can actually do this, if you don't want to walk up to the table with the deck set up, you can have the 4 queens on top of the deck along with a force card on top of it. Doesn't matter what the force card is, as long as you are aware of what the force card is. And what you do is you walk over to them, you say, hey guys, my name's Craig, go through your whole introduction, and then say, look, I'm going to show you how to read your mind. I'm going to show you some mind reading. Do me a favor, I'm going to riffle down the deck, just say, stop, take that card. I don't want to see it. I'm going to turn around. I want you to look at that card, show everyone, then hold it in your hand so I can't see it. I turn round, and in that 5 seconds while I turned round, I just put the queens into position. So when I turn back round, I've got the deck set up with the queens in position, and they've got that card. I then proceed to read their mind, concentrate on the card. I love using a line by my friend Nemid Phoenix. He says, imagine the card here. That's me holding an invisible card. That's me, not me dancing. This is me dancing. Amazing line. Don't steal it. He'll probably kill you. But he's the point is I love using that line, and I read their mind, and don't underestimate the power of that. Laymen don't know about forces. They're not aware that you can force a card off them. You've just shown them it's a regular deck of cards. You've shuffled the cards. You've got them to, take this card and show everyone. They don't think that there's any way you can know what that card is. And then you turn around and you go, right, it's a black card, isn't it? Yeah, it's a spade. Yeah, it's the 7 of spades. Oh my God, that's amazing. They freak out. They really do freak out. And then you go, well, let's see if we can go one step further. Let's see if we can really use your imagination. I spread the deck out on the table. I take the 7, put it on top of the deck, and now I'm into the routine. And in that way, you can do this really, if you want to, at any point in the act, because you can just cull the queens to the top and along with the force card, and you can go into it in the middle of your act if you want to. It's really quick. It's very visual. Once you've got the queens in position, it's a very easy thing to do. And the use of equivoke in this routine is really strong because it's very, very easy to equivoke down to the queens. I talked about this on my Visible project. So if you haven't in depth, there's a routine I use that I equivoke down to the queens, and I talked about it on there. But it's very easy to equivoke down to the queens. So you've got this scenario where they end up thinking of the queens and they feel it's a free choice, and then boom, immediately the 4 queens reappear face up in the middle of the deck. And then the deck's examinable, so you can take those cards out and you can go into any other routine you want to. It really is a killer routine. Now, if you want to know, there is more to this routine. So if you want me to go deep in depth, this is a routine that's going to be on Netrix. So it's well worth checking out just for that. I absolutely love doing this. But this is the second routine using a ribbon spread holdout you've never seen before. It's one of my favorite routines to open with, especially when I'm doing the card set. Let's have a look at the final trick now. So the final trick using the ribbon spread holdout that you've probably never seen before is a slight variation of Darwin Ortiz Beyond Sleight of Hand card sandwich routine. Now, I love sandwich routines. I've published about 100, but one of my favorites is Darwin's Beyond Sleight of Hand routine, because it is so fair. It is just ridiculously fair. It's not a quick sandwich. You see a lot of quick sandwich routines where it visibly appears, or you do this swirly thing, or whatever it may be. It's not that, but it seems so impossible. Now, the only difference in the way that I've done it, I changed it over the years to suit my personality better. And the only way that I've changed it is with the selection at the beginning. Darwin uses a different way to select a card. I actually use a sequence to select the card that I published first, I think on Blank, which was a DVD I bought out many, many years ago. And it's a way of having 2 cards on top of the deck and getting them to pick a card and stealing it out under those 2 cards. You'll see it in the performance in a second. But for me, that's just personal preference. I prefer using that to steal the card out at the beginning. Because I can eliminate 2 or 3 moves and replace it with 1 move, which is better from my point of view. So that's the only thing that I've replaced. Everything else is exactly the same. But I'm going to perform the routine for you very, very quickly so you can see exactly what it looks like. So this is Beyond the Sleight of Hand by Darwin Ortiz. It's just a small variation at the beginning for how the card's selected. Jack, we've got 52 cards here. Do you want me to use the kings, the jacks, or the queens for this?
Use the jacks.
Do you want the red jacks or the black jacks?
Black jacks.
So we're going to go with the Jack of Spades. I'm not sure this is a full deck, to be honest. Do we see the Jack of Clubs?
Yeah, it's at the end.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Excellent stuff. So we're going to use the 2 blackjacks. You happy with those?
Yep.
Now, I'm going to have you pick a card. And the only stipulation I have for you here is not to pick one of the blackjacks. So I'm going to, because the blackjacks are going to help me with the trick. So I'm going to leave the 2 blackjacks on top of the deck. I'm going to riffle down the deck like this. You're going to say stop. And whenever you say stop, I'll show you the card and I'll show the camera as well.
Okay.
So just say stop.
Stop.
Are you happy? Do you want to go one more card or are you okay?
I'm okay.
Cool. Can you have a look at this card?
Yep.
Can you look at this card?
Yep.
You got it? Mm-hmm. Brilliant stuff. Now, could I possibly know anything about your card? I mean, other than the fact that I know it can't be a Jack because I left those on top of the deck. But other than that, do I know anything about your card?
No.
No. Take the cards and shuffle them. Because what we're going to do here, my friend, is we're going to go beyond sleight of hand. I'm going to immediately let you shuffle the cards the second that you have the card picked. That's fair, right?
Yep.
Now, once you've shuffled them, cut them into 2 piles. Put one pile there, one pile there. Try to make them evenish, but it's totally up to you. And I'm going to put the 2 blackjacks on one of the piles. Which pile do you want me to put them on? This packet or this packet?
The second packet.
This one here?
Yeah.
You want the 2 blackjacks on there, and then you want the other deck on top. Is that fair?
Yep.
And you're happy with that?
Yep.
Perfect. So we have a situation where you shuffled the cards, you decided everything, you decided where the jacks went in the middle of the deck, you shuffled the cards. I have no idea what the card is or where the card is. Is that fair?
Yep.
What I want you to do, watch those 2 blackjacks there. Somewhere here is your card, and the idea is for the blackjacks to find your card, but in order for this to happen without sleight of hand, I can't do anything. So you square up the cards for me. Perfect. Make sure they're all squared. And then pick them up and put them there. And then what you're going to do, you're going to put your hand and you're going to smush them over there. Magicians call that a ribbon spread. But first of all, you've got to snap your fingers and make the most magical noise you know as you wiggle your fingers. Ooh, that was so magical. If I was a card, I'd be found immediately. And that was so good. So you can take the cards and smush them over that way. That's called a ribbon spread. And look, that's fine. Look here. There's now 1 card in between the 2 blackjacks. 1 card and 1 card only. You haven't told me the name of your card, but I'm hoping that we got it correct.
What?
Was that the one?
That was the one.
There you go. That's called Beyond. So there you go. That is Beyond Sleight of Hand. It is a really killer routine. It really is. And what I love about this, now you've seen it, I love that everything feels so fair. Because they look at the card, you then immediately have them shuffle the cards, you immediately have them cut them into 2 piles, you show the 2 kings or whatever it is that you're using, you ask them which packet to put it on, they put it on the packet, you then spread through the cards, and you show that the 2 kings are there, where you put them in, you get them to square up the cards themselves, you get them to spread the cards out on the table. It's so cool. The magic happens. It's kind of like, the best way to describe it is it's like doing a coins across where the coins are going from your hand to your hand versus doing the coins across where they're going from your hand into the spectator's hand. When coins land in the spectator's hand, it is so much better and it is so much more powerful because the spectator can feel the moment that the coins have arrived, right? Well, it's the same with this. Sandwich routines are great. Those fancy sandwich routines, I've published enough of them. I know they're great. But this particular routine works on an entirely different level because it feels like they've done the magic, hence the term or the name of the trick, Beyond the Sleight of Hand, because you're trying to say there's no way I can use sleight of hand for this, and it genuinely feels like the spectator's done the trick. If you frame it correctly, it feels a little bit like Michael Murray's solution, which is where the spectator solves the cube behind their back. Obviously, that's more powerful than a normal Rubik's Cube solve, which is why most cube magicians leave it as to the final point in their show. Well, it's the same with this. It feels like they're doing the magic. It's a fastidio trick. It's from a shuffle deck in use. It's a very intelligent use of the ribbon spread hideout because it's not done as a flashy kind of production. It's done in a very interesting way, which I think has applications in other sandwich routines. I've actually played with this concept in a few different things, including having a card vanishing from this packet and appearing in this packet, and maybe we'll talk about that on another video at some point on Magic TV. But it has applications in lots of other card work. It's relatively easy to do, but it feels like it's just absolutely impossible. It's a great way as well to either open or close a sandwich routine. If you're wanting to do a series of routines involving the sandwich plot, this is a great one to open that with, because they understand. It really kind of frames what the sandwich plot is very, very nicely. But it's also a nice one to close with, because you can frame it in such a way that you're going to do it one last time, but they're going to do it themselves. So you can go into it in a couple of different ways. Makes it a great transition trick in in a longer routine. So there you go. It's called Beyond the Sleight of Hand. It's by Darwin Ortiz. Can't remember which book it's on, but if you Google Darwin Ortiz, Beyond the Sleight of Hand, or somebody I'm sure will tell you in the comments down below, but it's one that I've done for many, many years. So there you go, guys. That is 3 tricks using the ribbon spread holdout that you've never seen before. Do me a favor. Do you want to see other 3 best trick series on particular moves? Is there a move that you like that you haven't really seen much with, but you think the move has potential? Drop it in the comments down below and I will do a video on it. I will put a video together for you of 3 tricks that you can use with that move. So let me know. Or is there any other thing that you want me to do 3 trick series with? Do you want me to do it on a particular trick or a particular topic? I know somebody said recently they wanted me to do one on force bags, so I'm kind of putting that together at the moment. But any ideas would be gratefully appreciated. Also, don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, you know what you got to do. You got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. And I'm going to be back again tomorrow on Friday. We're going to have a rant at 9 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, no, 6 o'clock, it's going to be a Magic Live. And at 2 o'clock, it's going to be a Shorts. So I'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic.